What's going on, traders? It's your boy Matt, back at you again with another trading recap video. In today's video, there's a great lesson from it, especially for me, and I hope you guys will be able to take a little bit from it as well. Now, today started out pretty great. We had a lot of runners, and there was some great opportunities where I could have banked a lot. But I made a mistake that I made 1,000 times before and lost it 1,000 times before. But I repeated it yesterday and I got burnt again. And that mistake is, anticipating, going into a trade with anticipation, not with what you see on the chart. Let's talk about it. Well, first thing first, as you guys can see right here, I am up 1,700 bucks. So I did hit my daily goal, but I traded this thing, and as you guys can see right here, I was actually down about 2,100 bucks at one point. I was down $2,000. And the main reason for that was obviously anticipating this thing. Basically, this thing is BRPAW. So it's a warrant. If it has a W at the end, it's a warrant. I'll show you what BRPA looks like. So this is BRPA. As you guys can see, it went from $10 to all the way to 70 in the last 4 or 5 days. Yesterday it went from $35 all the way to 75 bucks per share, and today it went from 35 all the way to $75. Now, as this was going, we've seen this thing before. If you guys remember, WNW. This was another runner that went from $8 all the way to $150. So this is how they play. They're very thinly traded. The float for BRPAW was about 700,000. So it's very thin. And with 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 shares, 100,000 shares, this thing is through the roof. So the way that I choose to, there's actually a great way to trade this. The way that I choose to trade this kind of stocks is not the stock itself, but the warrant. Because the way this thing's play, if you guys can see here on, as you guys can see on BRPAW, these things, they do go, higher parabolic like this. For example here, right, it went from 30 bucks all the way to 34. It got into an upside hold. From 34, it opened at 40 bucks and it went to an upside hold. And then it opened up 46, 48 area and straight into a downside hold. Now, if you try to trade this in real time, it would be way too fast. You would not be able to get a feel. And then it opened at 32, from 48 to 32 open, and then went higher. So even here went straight into a downside hold, So it makes it very hard. The way that I choose to trade these things is trade the warrant. So I had a perfect plan. Now BRPA was great. It went from $28 to 78 bucks. So the plan that I had pre-market was, okay, I'm not going to touch this thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the warrant to set up, and then I can trade the warrant. Now, the best way to trade this thing is you wait for this thing to go higher and higher and higher and higher. And because you won't be able to catch the downside, what you got to do is you got to borrow, 3, 4, 5,000 shares of the warrant, right? So this is BRPA. I traded BRPAW, which is the warrant. And let this thing go into a downside hold, which you won't be able to trade in most cases. But when this thing goes into a downside hold, which happens in a flash of a second, what happens is the warrant goes down as well. But the warrants, I don't think the warrants get halted. I haven't seen a warrant get halted because of volatility yet. My experience, I don't think they get halted. They might, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen one get halted. So when the actual stock goes into a downside hold, what you got to do is just short the warrant, right? Because the theme with these things, if you guys remember WNW, let's look at this day, for example. Look at this. So it kept going higher. All right, look at this. It went from 55 into 59, halt, upside hold. From $55, it went all the way 110. Now, buying this thing is risky at this point, because let's say you're one of the person who bought it here. It went into a downside hold at 45 bucks, right? And this would have happened in a flash of a second. Literally, as soon as it opens, people dump straight into a downside hold is going to be very hard to fill. And guess where it opened? It halted at 150 and it opened 75 bucks, 80 bucks, 75, $80 is where it opened. So you would not be able to catch this thing as a short seller. So what you got to do is wait for this thing to smack back into a downside hold and then hammer the warrants, because that when this thing goes down, the warrants go down. This thing goes up, the warrant goes up. Or as this is going up, going into an upside hold, upside hold, upside hold, you can also buy the warrant. So this, you can use this as an indicator to trade the warrants, right? Mistake that I made was yesterday when this thing went into $38, right? And this thing came up and it rejected from this area and it starts to go down. I shorted the warrant, right? And I didn't only short. I'll show you guys where I shorted right here. So this thing went up when the other one was going down. This is also was going down, so I shorted right here. A $5 per share. I went in 1,000 shares. I shouldn't have. That is a problem in pre-market trading. I was anticipating this was going to go down. I was anticipating this was going to go down. Though one of my friend Aaron, who trades with me, was actually long on it, and he got in around here at 32. Stay patient. And market open, you should anticipate this is going to go into an upside hold, right? And it did. And as that was doing that, the warrant kept going higher and higher, right? And when that thing, and I had to eat up this $2,000 loss because I was 1,000 short from 5, and then I added into this around $6 area, and then I had to cut some at 6:30, and I had to cut everything out at 7:30. So for the pre-market break there, I couldn't hold it any longer because then the sky's the limit. I had to cut it right there. But that was a wrong trade. My plan was let the other one go as high as it goes. Let the other one smack back down into a downside hold. When that one goes into a downside hold, then I'll short the warrants 2,000 shares, right, and hold it. That was the plan that I had. But I didn't do that. I made a mistake in doing that. Now, when that thing went into a downside hold, what I did was I hit it again here with 2,000 shares, and then I covered. I re-added a little bit, and I managed to make that $2,000 back because I waited for the other one to go into a downside hold and I hit it. So I recovered the $2,000 that I lost. Now the problem is if I didn't do that anticipation and added pre-market and had to eat that $2,000 loss, this could have easily been a nice $2,000 trade for me. Waiting for the backside. The plan was perfect. The plan worked. It's just the execution wasn't there. I should have been patient for this thing to keep going higher, 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 and this thing goes into a downside hold and short the warrants. So that's a new strategy you guys can utilize. Anyway, let's see what I did here. So yeah, so as you guys can see, I obliterated the chart. I mean, I machine gunned the shit out of this thing. Not my finest trade at all, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. Because I was down $2,000, I had to dig myself out, and as a result, I actually traded a fair amount of shares. I'm pretty sure commission and all that will be about 300 bucks. But I managed to do a lot of the trades on the free trade on Trade Zero. So if you put an order on the added liquidity to the market, so if you're trying to cover rather than covering at the ask, you cover at the bid, then it's a free trade. Anyway, so that's what I did. I was using BRPA, the actual stock, as an indicator to trade this thing. Hindsight 2020, I should have just traded the actual stock, but this is a little thing that you guys can do at the side where you could pretty much make easy money. Like when something goes into that crazy, the warrant goes well, but when that thing goes into a downside hold, it's indicating to open, you know, 90% lower than where it's halted, then the warrants tends to go higher, and the warrants, I don't think they get halted, meaning that you know, you can keep shorting this. You'll be able to hit this thing. You're not going to miss out because of this thing goes into a downside or anything like that. So this was the trade that I took, which was pretty crazy. So I'll have a look at this for another nice trade if it gives me for tomorrow. The next one that I traded was IPV. This thing here, I did better on this thing. I waited, didn't touch the front side, started shorting here, and cover, cover, cover. I didn't hold again for a bigger move. Shorted their cover, shorted their cover. The next one that I traded was JG. Now this was the stock that I actually wanted to trade. I had located 1,000 shares for this thing, and I wanted to hit it market open, but I was too busy fighting that $2,000 loss. I didn't even take a single trade market open on this. So I wasted the locates. I think they were about like $10 when I got them. You know, I wasted the locates, and I also wasted and I also missed out on a lot of money. I mean, about 1,000 if I shorted right there and hold 1,000 shares. You know, cover $1,500 profit right there. So I tried this pre-market here a little bit and here a little bit, but nothing much. So I made 100 bucks and then lost 33 on it. So you know, nothing much. The next one was MGNI. MGNI was a after-hour trade for me. So it went parabolic. I waited for the weakness. Look at that. It started there, started covering there, and completely got out of it. So, you know, small trades. I was going only, you know, 100 shares, so I probably made about $150 or something like that on this particular trade. So a majority of the trade that I took, as you guys can see, was BRPW. I managed to recoup the loss that I took on it, but you know, I had $800, $700 trades and stuff like that to make back what I lost on it. So anyway, I think that was pretty much what the today's trade. The lesson here is do not anticipate. If you have a plan, which my plan was, wait for the stock to go into a downside hold and then short the warrant. But I didn't do that. So you know, I got a little bit emotional as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment down below as well. And also, I live stream all of my trades, the losses of the game, the emotions, everything in my free chat room that I have on Discord. So if you guys want to jump into the chat room and actually, you know, watch the trades, what I'm down, the emotions, what I'm thinking about live, just jump into the chat room. I'll leave the link down below. And now enjoy the actual live trading footage. Thanks, guys. Alright, guys, welcome to the live trading part of my videos. As you guys can see, I am already in 2,000 shares of BRPAW, which is the warrant of BRPA. And this thing is a very low float. BRPA is very low float. It's about you know, 700,000. So I'm in 2,000 shares with an average of 540. Right now I'm down about $700 on it. I should end the loss here because right now, you know, I'm looking at BRPA, the actual stock, and that thing, market hasn't opened yet, and that thing looks like it's actually about to go higher. So if I add this $600 loss, you know, I actually lost $2,000 on it. So if I add this $600 loss, you know, I would have saved a lot of money. That would have been added on the $1,000 up that I am already. So I just ate half a loss right here. So you know, I'm down about $800. I took 1,000 shares out. Now I'm starting to get emotional because I'm almost $1,000 down, which is halfway through my max loss just pre-market, and I know I'm consciously aware that I'm not actually following my trading plan, because my trading plan is you know, and then I add it back again. My trading plan is let BRPA do what it does, market open, let it go into an upside hold, let it go into an upside hold again. Let it go as it goes. When that goes into a downside hold, I would hit the warrant BRPAW with 2,000 shares. But I'm already hitting the 2,000 shares. My average is at 570, and this thing, remember, went to $8. So I added. Now I took it back again. That put me down about $1,200. So market just opened. I'm only holding 1,000 shares. I didn't want to hold that 2,000 until market open. That's why I ate half of it. So now I am down about $1,200. So I'm thinking if BRPAW BRPA not flushing down, it looks like it's gonna go upside hold. I'm gonna start eating this thing. So and that thing is going higher, and this is going higher. So the best thing to do right now would have been to cut the loss, even at 1,500, and flip long. Right, that would have been a beautiful trade, and following the plan. So one of the big difference between a profitable trader and a trader that doesn't make money is a profitable trader have a plan and follows the freaking plan, right? If you have a plan, even if the plan is sound and great, but you don't follow it or you do something other than the plan, which is exactly what I'm doing, then you just lose money, right? Because there's no difference between a person who is in a trade and change the plan consistently when he's in a trade and the person who doesn't have a plan to begin with. There's no difference at all. Both of them are not following a strict rule of, okay, if it does this, I'll do this, or if it does this, I'll do this, right? So now I'm holding only 500 shares. As you guys can see, I'm down 1,800 bucks and market just opened. So this is a terrible situation for me. Almost down my max loss here. So I'm just waiting to see what this is going to do here. And I'm waiting for a BRPA, the actual stock, if that's it, going to go into an downside hold. So that one is going higher, so I'm eating the loss here. I'm only holding 250 shares. I don't know why I'm holding the 250 shares. I should be just, eating the loss here. As you guys can see, it's almost $2,000, 1,900. There you go. Wham, bam, $2,000 down. So, and I'm still holding. So this is how not to trade, guys. This is how you need to have a plan and stick to the plan. Don't do something other. So if right now, I should have been up 100 bucks because now I ate the loss right now. I lost $2,191. So the plan was to let this thing go as it goes. So this $2,000, it should have been, I was up about $100 to $150 pre-market. This should have been a green $150 rather than down $2,000. So, make a plan, but stick to it. Right now, so the RPA, that thing went into, it looks like it's going to go into a downside hold. So I'm waiting for that thing to go into a downside hold so I can hammer this 2,000 shares. Bam, I'm in 2,000 shares on this thing with an average of 73. The reason why I got in this is because the other one went into a downside hold. So now I'm going to sit back on this from 770 average, and I'm going to try to cover this thing as low as I can, which is to, right now, as you guys can see, it's dropping to that $7 area, $7.30. So I want this to the $7 to the VWAP area for me to cover. But I'm also, again, a little bit greedy. I'm thinking this could go back down to the 670 area. If it goes to the 670 area, I'll just recoup the whole $2,000 in one go, right? Which is a mistake. Shouldn't do that. It's about 400 bucks on it. So the trade would have been, if I didn't take that $2,000 loss pre-market right now, I would have been up 500 bucks. I would have been up almost, right now, 800 bucks or something like that, right? But now I'm trying to dig myself out because I didn't follow my plan. And it's funny because I was actually sharing my plan with, I said it in the chat room, but also telling, Aaron, who trades with me, how to trade. Right now I'm up 1,600 bucks on it. I'm only down $500 on the day. 7, it gave me my target right here. As you guys can see, it's at 685. My target was 7. Now I should have covered some here, at least 1,000 shares here, right? But I'm not, because now greed is, sitting on my shoulder and whispering, okay, this could go down to the $5. I covered 1,000, so that puts me only down 500 bucks on the day. I'm holding 1,235 shares. Let's see. I'm trying to cover it at 35, but this thing, remember, it was at 85. Now popped up to the $7 area. Now 710. So suddenly I'm back to being down 800 bucks. So when I was down 500, I should have just taken that when I had the opportunity, when it gave me. This is one of the things that I learned on this particular trade as well. When there's a profit, a decent amount of profit on the table, lock it in. So I was down about only 700 bucks. I got back in again. 1,500 shares with 697 average. So I want to cover this thing. I want to peel it off as it's going down. But Remember, I'm also watching BRPAW, what that is doing. If that thing is going into an upside hold or something like that, I want to get out of here. So as you guys can see, I'm only down $163. So mind you, if I didn't screw up pre-market, I would have been up $2 grand right now. But emphasizing on have a plan and stick to the plan, right? Do not do stuff other than what your plan is. Do not add before where your plan says to add. Do not take profit before where your plan says to take profit, right? Wait for the risk levels and those things. So as you guys can see, I'm green on the day, up $126. So I recouped that $1,000 loss, and I've been fighting this thing all day to get to this green trade. So I'm only holding 400 shares from that 1,500 shares that I was shorting. So let's see what this is gonna do. I'm not even going bigger share size. I'm only going 2,000 shares or something. So right now I'm up, 100 and almost $200 on it. But I got back in 2,000 shares at $61, and this puts me up almost $800 on a day. So I shorted that bounce a little bit. So I'm thinking about covering some here, 20s. Because now I'm up $800, so I covered some there. Now I'm only holding 300 shares. It's put me up about $800. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you watching the videos. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and remember, if you want to watch me trading live, I'll put the link down below for my Discord channel. Pop in there, and you'll see all the raw emotions, the thoughts as the trade is progressing minute by minute. And thank you so much for watching. I closed the day $1,000 up, which is my my daily goal, and that was it. Thank you.